See, there's a game of slow fire, so you want to make sure your pieces little good to take in everything now. Keep manipulation is the key of the game, boy. So it's low and slow. Low and slow is the winner. My name is Ayo Francis. Welcome to Duke's Galley, located on the corner of the Western Main Road and Awi Street in Carenage. Duke's Galley has been in the Francis family and in this location for probably about 50 years. My grandmother, she was the first owner of this property. It was a blue and white board or wood building. She used to sell like coconut bake, roast bake and fry fish with chow mein, vegetables and that kind of thing. And she used to be here. She had quite a following with that. You know, I remember one time she was giving us the story. A guy used to work taxi and he, every evening before he go, he used to come here and buy food from her. And one day his wife showed up in the establishment quarreling because when the man reached home, he don't want food again. So she wanted to know who is this woman cooking for her husband every day, that he reaching home and don't want any kind of food. In the beginning, I used to measure out and all them things, but now you get a little accustomed. You just want to make sure all the meat get covered with all the things you put in. And then the spirits by the ancestors, when they're talking to them, this place have a long history of cooking, you know. So when they talk to you listen. And told her. You know, I like to work with pork, eh? It's such a nice meat to cook. It's taking seasoning well. I prefer to eat rabbit meat. But cooking pork is always a real nice experience, you know, because it's so challenging to you could overcook it, and then it get hard and you have to make use of your pressure cooker and all that. You know, rabbit you can't really overcook rabbit per se unless it's an older fella. And I don't have old rabbits, all my rabbits young. You know, it's so weird that my grandmother used to do rabbits when she was younger. And my father-in-law, God rest his soul, he have some land. And I just said him, you know, I want to get into rabbit farming. And my wife's uncle sat me off with some rabbit. And then it just go into a huge farm from there. And you know, we have people doing contract farming and that kind of thing. So it really move into a beautiful thing. Big up to Dandy Thomas. Dandy Thomas doing his thing with the rabbit farming, nice too. So plenty of my rabbits has actually come from him as well. I think it's when you're done season meat, you should be able to do the very least in the pot. The seasoning is everything. The rest is just about heat manipulation and you're good to go. It's over 50 years of cooking up me, you know. This clove, well, this is a real important ingredient in my food. And I don't even grind it up. You just put it in whole. And you let it in flour. This is good and natural ginger powder. Powders do a good job with the pork. Right, real strong. This is your fresh seasoning. Apart from everything as you put in there, this is the most important thing. Plenty pimento, plenty chive, and then smell that. Huh?
Fresh like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, say we're doing this long enough to know how we mix it. I'm making this myself. Big up to Gabriella Lee for supplying all the seasoning. She have a farm all over the place, and so Gillan, you just mix this up. There's your fork. My dad, he was a chef, and he worked on sea. So he was a chef on those big boats that used to carry, well, first the alcohol plant over there, it used to carry bauxite to Holland and France and stuff. So he was the chef on those boats. And then later on in his years, he started to work in the oil industry, the boats that carry material and divers to the oil rigs. He was the chef there until one day he said, he told the family that was my last trip. I'm going to open the restaurant and I'll be down here. You know, of course it caused some concerns, but he made it work, and so he refurbished the entire building, and he opened here every day the place was open. He would do things like Creole food and that kind of thing, and he ran here for quite a number of years until he fell ill. You know, he passed away April 24th, 2024, which was last year. And I took the place in August of that year. We decided that we would not let his legacy die, you know, because this is what he was about. And, you know, we opened back the place in August, and yeah, we here now. My mom see I using all this coconut. She said, you don't have to use all this coconut, you know. But I like the consistency that gives the gravy now. All this equipment is equipment that my dad have, and I just do what he had to do over them as yet. So they are a little archaic, but they're doing the job. Most of the part. You know? Right, so this is the coconut milk here. Apart from there, this is the only liquid we're going to add to the pot. Yeah, so there's your whole gravy right here. No water, or very minimal water going into that pot after. My father loved Carenage, and Carenage loved him. You know, and a lot of people will come here. I mean, they say the food tastes good, but I think people just come here to get a part of Daddy. You know, people just come here because a lot of them would come and they would say, you know, we were glad that even though he died, the place stay open and thing, you know. So I think people would come here more for a piece of him than anything. You know, people really loved him in Carenage. Here, you know, he would open up the doors, and even if he closed the restaurant, he would just be open and people would be here hanging out and liming with him. You know, sometimes he closed and he's sitting on the step out there, and people would come and sit with him and, you know, and just talk shop with him. He was never one for plenty idle talk, so it was always talk of some kind of merit to take it from one place to the other. You know, but he was a nice, really nice person. It's Sunday, and, well, it's a village. Depends if we just cook. Ain't gonna do too much today, even though it's St. Peter's Day. Okay, in about 5. Parallel salt, parallel sugar. Put that on there. You're going to be eating in no time. Boy, I feel pressure for so. You know what, people come here and say, let me see if you could do anything as good as your father. This is real pressure. Every time I open them doors for people to come in here, it's pressure, because he was a master chef. He was a master chef, and he did what he did well. He never compromised on ingredients, never compromised on taste. I remember that time he told somebody, if you don't like this food, you get it free. Because he was that confident in what what he did. So yeah, it's a lot of pressure. And then I don't think any of us could cook like my sister. She's the best. Apart from my dad, she is the best chef in all of us. So even matching up to what I think she would do is immense pressure. You know, my brother, he's more one for the grill. He bad on a grill. You know, but we all, like I always say, your vocation affects your DNA. You know, and cooking was my grandmother's vocation. It was my dad's vocation, and eventually it affected all of our DNA. You know, it really in our blood. Yeah, really in our blood. You know, the first time I cook on a firecracker is when I come here. And then normally I would drop in a little kiss of pepper in the oil as well. But because I put plenty cayenne in the seasoning, I wouldn't bother to find any pepper in the pot now. Some people would add like this, but I like to go dark. And then so from now it's where the heat going and come down, but it done bubbling good there already. Breaking, not even so much. This is why I call the superhero by the everybody. This is a superhero, so you put in it, it's a superhero, just rest some right on top there for now. And I leave that for a little while. Right, Jill, you ain't calling it. See how rabbit does play nice? See how he's springing water nice already? Yeah, rabbit does play nice, man. I called my dad and I told him, I said, I'd starting a rabbit farm, you know, Dad. He said, I know. He smiled because when he was younger, he was into rabbits as well, too. So I think he was always amazed at how things would come back around, you know? But I remember telling him that I went and started a rabbit farm, you know, and his exact words was, well, you know, if you're selling a meat, you had to know to cook that better than everybody else. And he's the one that really walked me through cooking, you know, rabbit meat and wild meat on the whole. He was a wild meat champion. You know, so he walked me through it, and, you know, I just added my little twist to become, you know, more unique as we go along until we have the product that we have now. Right, so he coming real nice there. That was really good. Yeah, the rabbit does behave nice. Rabbit is a good fella. The pug behaving nice too today, like he like you, boy. Yeah, you see? Yeah, he behaving nice. Pugs behaving nice. What they want is a little privacy, so you wouldn't bother them for a little while like that. When I cook in the rabbit, you would look at certain parts like the leg and thing, see how the meat starting to peel itself back from the bone, see how it's starting to peel back a little bit. Yeah, let's keep it going on now. We got a little alcohol to clean it. Make sure any little Before you know, they cover. Alright, so I wouldn't knock this again because it done mix up plenty. Just take it up and I sit in the flour. Before, it's either too thin or too thick. You know, but now you get to understand how the dough does feel. Right, as the dumpling set out there, it's just to go inside. Or pull right back there and most of the bone exposed. So I would keep my eye on one piece of meat in the pot and monitor that piece of meat. Most times it's a leg to see how the meat pulling back. So you know how it coming along. Yeah, so this is the dashing here. What I would do. Everybody say, oh, your dashing does come out so boy. I would boil the onion and pimentos in water. And then I would take it out and just leave that seasoned water there and then boil the dashing in that. So you get a nice, add a little salt and you boil the dashing in it so you get a nice flavor provision. You know, dry, bland thing. You get a nice flavor from it. Apart from this, the menu would normally carry curry crab and dumpling and curry fish. You will get that as well. Yeah. So we try to cater for everybody. Duke's Galley is a whole family vibe. People would come here and sit and not know anybody, and then before you know it, everybody sit down around the same table laughing with each other, talking with each other. You know, the place is a happy place, it's a homely place. You know, there's a village place. You know, you come here and you meet people for the first time, you hang out. You know, the logo is where friends come to have a good time. You know, people, all of us was created in love, and Duke's Galley is about love, is about bringing people together who, from everywhere. We had people here from South Africa, from Jamaica, from Germany, from all over the world come here and, you know, just meet up and line, talk to each other for hours. Sometimes they done it and they still sitting down here lining. You know, I would get the opportunity ever so often to come out and meet everybody and we sit and just, you know, just talk about it. You know, it's a real nice place to be. It's a happy place to be. People come here and they leave with a smile. People, as a matter of fact, yesterday a guy come here, he said, boy, my wife in a real bad mood. So I come for some rabbit to carry. Well, you know, it's happy food, happy people, happy vibes. Yeah, where people come to have a good time.